Alright, buckle up kids, because it's time for a journey into the weird. Vivarium is directed by Lorcan Finnegan and stars Jesse Eisenberg and Imogen Poots as a couple that are stuck in a suburban hell. We follow Eisenberg and Poots as a young couple that one day on a whim decide to go looking at homes for sale. Upon meeting the world's most awkwardly weird realtor, they go to view a home in the new housing development Yonder. After a few awkwardly hilarious interactions with their realtor, he disappears and they find themselves trapped in Yonder. They drive round and round the block trying to get themselves out of the subdivision but can't seem to find the way out. They keep arriving back at the house that they were shown, number 9, eventually giving up for the night and going to stay inside the house. Little do they know, this is where they're going to be staying for a long time. After being there for a few days and multiple attempts at getting out of the neighborhood, a box arrives in front of the house. Upon opening this box, they find a newborn baby with a message that says, "Raise this child and you'll be released." So, without any other options, that's what they attempt to do. And this is no ordinary child. This kid grows at a fairly quick rate and is really fucking weird. Once the kid gets to around about 10 years old looking, he gets really fucking weird. Like Damien from The Omen fucking weird. And from there, a lot of weird, surreal, out there shit happens in this movie. For fear of spoilers, I don't really want to give any more about the story away, but just know that this is one of the weirdest movies you've ever seen. But not just weird for weird's sake. And when I say weird, I don't mean hard to follow. You understand everything that's going on screen at any given time. You don't always understand why these things are happening, but you do get what's going on. Unlike other movies that try and take on these really weird premises, this one stays coherent from beginning to end. That doesn't change the fact that it's fucking weird and some really out there shit happens, but you're never left not knowing what the hell's going on. You might not know why it's happening, or in the grand scheme of things, what exactly is going on, but you always understand what's going on screen, and the story does stay fairly focused throughout. 95% of this movie consists of 3 characters: Jesse Eisenberg, Imogen Poots, and the little boy. And each of them, especially Eisenberg and Poots, do a fantastic job here. This is some great acting that is captivating throughout the runtime of the movie. It never falters. These are some Class A performances. The range of emotions on display here from our main characters include everything from absolute happiness to total 100% terror, and they sell every bit of it wholeheartedly. There's a pretty good amount of special effects here, but most of them are in the background or part of creating the world. Now, they don't look real, but they do look really good. What I mean is that they look too perfect, but they're supposed to within this story. A lot of the things that we see aren't necessarily always real. They're a version of a real thing. They're a made up thing. So that surrealness, that not quite right because it's just a little too perfect nature of these special effects really fits perfectly here. This is also a really pretty movie to look at. Pretty much every shot in the movie is filmed in a very interesting way and a treat for the eyes. So in other words, this movie's really technically sound. I don't think it had a huge budget, but it really looks like it did. It is a very good looking movie. And then there's the story and what's really going on here. Now, I saved this part for last this time around because this is absolutely the most interesting aspect of the film. This is a really weird fucking movie, but it is also a very interesting, engaging, compelling movie. And honestly, even after watching the movie, I'm not 100% sure of what it all means. That's not to say that it's confusing and I don't get what happened in the movie, but the why and what's going on a larger scale isn't necessarily answered concretely. You will get answers by the end of this movie, but you won't get all the answers. I wouldn't necessarily say it's open-ended, but it also doesn't give you all the answers to everything that's happened, especially the whys. You don't get a lot of answers to the why some of these things happen. You'll know what happened and how it happened and kind of a why it happened, but the really big whys, you're just gonna be kind of left in the dark. But that's okay, because this is such a well-crafted story that gives you just enough resolution that it's alright that you don't have all the answers by the end. Actually, part of the fun is not having all those answers and trying to figure out and make up your mind as to what you think might be going on here. This is a movie that people will be talking about for a long time. I don't imagine this is going to be a huge blockbuster or anything, but I do think that it's going to be one of those movies that slowly gains momentum over the years. People will naturally discover this and fall in love with it, and you're going to go online and find people talking about this movie and what it means and all their different theories for a long time to come. Me, myself, I'm not really 100% sure. It might maybe possibly be an allegory for parenting or young parenting or unexpected parenthood, but really, I don't know. There is a lot of stuff going on in this movie. This is a movie that will lend itself very well to repeat viewings. I can't wait to see it a second time because I really think I'm gonna pick up on a lot of stuff that I didn't see the first time around. Also, the tone of this movie is a little misleading in the beginning. Near the beginning, when our characters have some interactions with the realtor Martin, you think that it's gonna be a quirky, awkwardly funny movie. And it is at that point. Those parts are funny as hell. But it quickly shifts to more of an oddball thriller and at times a straight up horror. If I had to pick one, I'd probably say this is more thriller than anything else. But there are definitely times that at its core, it is a horror on a psychological level. Like there's some really twisted shit in this movie, especially towards the end. And while the movie is just by its nature kind of quirky at times, it does feature some genuine moments of true heartbreak. Like there's some really fucked up shit that happens that you're just like, damn, that just sucks. There's also the kid in the movie. This is probably the creepiest kid that you've seen in a movie since Damien from The Omen. But it's not even just creepy like in that way. He's just creepy. Just everything he does is really fucking creepy and sleazy. Every aspect about this character, the way he's written, the way he's portrayed, the way he talks, everything is just very unnerving. There are parts of this movie where this kid will look at someone with a look and it's kind of genuinely terrifying. Guys, if you haven't guessed, I really enjoyed Vivarium. This is a movie unlike any other movie you've ever seen. It has fantastic performances, a great mystery of a story. It looks beautiful at times and you will be thinking about this movie for days after seeing it. Mark my words, like I said a minute ago, people will be debating what this movie's about for years to come. This movie was a great breath of fresh air, and I just couldn't get enough of it and can't wait to see it a second, third, and maybe even fourth time. And because of all that, Vivarium is absolutely a unicorn. This was an absolutely fantastic movie that everybody should see because you'll want to talk to everybody about it. Yes, it's weird. Yeah, it's a bit out there. And yes, it's very odd. But it never gets so far out there to where you don't know what's going on. It's never too obscure. If you give this one a chance, I guarantee that you're going to have a great time with it. So there it is, guys. My review of Vivarium. If you know what that word means, it kind of gives away a bit of the plot, too. If you enjoyed and want more content like this, hit that subscribe button and help my little channel grow. If you liked what I had to say, give me a thumbs up. If not, let me know in the comments below why. And as always, stay sexy, Las Vegas.
You creepy little mutant.
This movie's got a lot of weird and unnerving parts to it. But bar none, one of the weirdest and most unnerving things about this movie, to me at least, was the little kid's voice. I don't know exactly what they did, if they altered his voice or if they just did ADR and it's somebody else's voice, but the voice coming out of that kid in this movie is not his own. Not naturally, at least. It sounds like a grown man kinda trying to talk like a little kid coming out of this kid's mouth. And it is super weird and really unnerving. I mean, really, man, if I was these characters and as soon as that kid started talking like that, I'd just be like, nope, not doing it.